Lineup, and that is a welcome sight for Detroit. 321 average, 16 extra base hits, and a team-high 23 RBIs this year. Nicholas and the Tigers back at it. Long day of baseball here at Comerica Park. It is chilly, it is overcast, it is Game 1, featuring the Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pebble alongside Rod Allen. Game 1 coming your way here in a doubleheader. Nicholas Castellanos back in the lineup for the Tigers. Rod, great news for Detroit.
Always good news when Nicholas Castellanos is in that batting order. Since they moved him to right field last September, he has emerged as one of the better outfielders as far as batting averages in all of the sport and doing damage with that bat. And they need him in that lineup today because this team they're going up against, the Seattle Mariners, man, they got a lot of really good offensive players.
Yeah, they really do. Matt Boyd will take the mound in Game 1 for the Tigers. He gets the call. It'll be a challenge today against the Seattle lineup. 1 through 9, very deep.
Well, key for him is to keep D. Gordon off the base pass. He stole 60 bags last year, and he's fearless when he gets on the base pass. And the way that he can do that is with his arsenal. We've talked a lot about his slider. His slider has been a new improved pitch for Matthew Boyd. He uses that pitch against righties. He also uses that pitch against lefties. He also throws that slider to all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. And because that slider has been such a great pitch for him, he's holding left-handed batters to a 115 batting average. They've got about 3 good left-handers in their lineup today, so he'll have to make sure he slows those guys down and then pick and choose who he goes up against with the other couple of pitches that he has. He's got that real good slider. He's got that fastball, 93 and 94. And he's got that real good changeup, which is a good weapon, too. This is going to be his biggest test this season so far, though.
All right, should be fun. Game 1, Tigers M's just minutes away. In the meantime, we'll send you down to the Call at Sam Studios. Mickey York in just a moment. But coming up here today, Tigers and Seattle. It's going to be a full day of baseball. Tigers trying to power their way to a win in Game 1. Stay with us. Tigers M's coming up next.
Of the big boy, big plays during that stretch. He's hitting .400 over the last 10 here at Comerica Park, and overall has reached base safely in 18 of his last 22 games. Mickey York back with you here in the Coliseum Studio. Jamer Candelario bat second today, trying to ignite a Tigers offense that was just 4 for 33 with runners in scoring position in that Texas series. With the tarp off the field, as you can see behind me, they will get game one of this doubleheader underway here just in a couple of moments. We look forward to a full day of baseball today, but remind you the Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And it's powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
In Seattle, game one coming up. Matt Boyd is on the mound for the Tigers in game one, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Boyd has pitched much better than his wins and losses so far this year. He's lost 3, he's won 1, hasn't gotten a ton of run support. He's got a really good slider he's used to his advantage to keep left-handers off balance and the right-handers. Along with the slider, he's got a pretty good fastball and a good changeup.
Here is the starting lineup he will face here this afternoon in game one, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. D. Gordon will get it started for Seattle. He is their catalyst. Segura, Cano, and Cruz. They got Haniger in the middle of the lineup along with Seager and a bottom three of Healy, Zunino, and Guillermo Heredia. That is how the M's line up.
And Tigers defensive alignment this afternoon behind Boyd. Matuk, Jones, and Castellanos in the outfield. Candelario, Iglesias, Machado, Hicks in the infield, and Griner is the catcher so far here tonight, this afternoon, excuse me.
Well, here is D. Gordon now to get things started for Seattle. The first pitch of game one is inside and low. 1 ball to no strikes on Gordon. He is off to a very good start. 340 with 8 RBIs. Tremendous speed, so you want to keep D. Gordon off the base paths.
No doubt about that. They're into the corners, respecting the speed and the bunting ability of D. Gordon. He will bunt down that third baseline. He'll also bunt down toward first.
Gordon spent 4 years with LA and 3 with Miami before coming over to Seattle.
Yeah, all of his time spent in the senior circuit, but coming to the American League has been no adjustment for him at all.
Swing and a miss, and Boyd strikes him out. 1 gone.
That's the pitch that Boyd has used as a weapon really to his advantage this year. It's that breaking ball, and he keeps it away from D. Gordon. Gordon was way out in front of that pitch. Real nice start for Matthew.
1 away now for Gene Segura. Boyd has done some of his best work here at home. He has a 1.47 ERA here at Comerica Park. Segura, another fine hitter, 25 RBIs already for Segura, and a 305 batting average. Here's the 0-1. Little chopper to the shortstop. Iglesias running scoop. Segura is out, 2 away. Still chilly and kind of damp here at the ballpark. The Tigers had the tarp on the field for most of the morning. It is 48 degrees at game one time temp, and you got humidity of 89%. So still some rain in the area, but it's fairly dry here right now, and that's the good news. Although you will see the ponchos out there. With 2 gone, here is Robinson Cano. Showing bunt, and Cano looks at a strike. Boyd has come out of the bullpen throwing strikes. Cano at 286. He's knocked in 20. Pretty good 3-4 combo with Seattle, Cano, and Cruz. Now Boyd's 0-1. That'll sail outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Scott Berry is behind the dish here today. Ortiz, Nart, and Danley, the rest of the crew. There's Kerwin, the crew chief.
Me and Curran are neighbors in Arizona.
Swing and a miss.
That breaking ball has been a good one so far for Matthew. He really had D. Gordon fooled it out in front. He did the exact same thing to an outstanding hitter in Robinson Cano. But the one thing about the breaking ball, he's going to have to make sure that he doesn't get caught throwing it too often. He's going to make sure he switches up his pitches.
Now the 1-2. Whistled foul, out of play.
12 years in the big leagues for Robinson Cano. Over 2,000 hits, over 300 homers, over 500 doubles already. Some career he's had.
Is he trending toward the Hall of Fame?
I think so. When you start to compare his numbers with some of the other second basemen that are in the Hall of Fame, he's going to be right there.
And one is lined to Matuk, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Matthew Boyd. presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, and a different look for the Tigers. You got Mata, Candelario, and Castellanos in the top 3 spots. Miggy still on the DL along with Martin. McCann, Hicks, and Jones in the middle. Griner will catch, and then Iglesias and Machado. And they are facing the lefty Marco Gonzalez, who's presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
And Marco pitching some pretty good baseball right now. He won his last outing against the Cleveland Indians, pitching 6 innings in that game. He's not going to throw you a lot of fastballs. Fastball tops out at 90 miles an hour. He's got a nice little cutter that he gets in on right-handers with. Also a curveball and a changeup. So lots of off-speed pitches today from Mr. Gonzalez.
It'll be Mikey Matuk in the leadoff slot here this afternoon. Mikey recently called back up from AAA when Martin was put on the DL. Little chopper left side of the infield. It'll get to the shortstop Segura. Quick throw is in time. 1 gone.
Real nice arm there by their shortstop, Gene Segura. Here's the Seattle Mariners defensive alignment behind Marco Gonzalez, managed by Manny Acta this afternoon. Heredia, Gordon, Haniger in the outfield. Haniger, boy, can he really hit. In the infield, it's Seager, Segura, Cano, and Healy, and the catcher, Mike Zunino.
There's Manny Acta. Scott Service, their manager, is off at a graduation of his daughter. So Manny Acta, who has plenty of big league managing experience, he'll take over. And he has a very interesting bench coach.
Yes, he does today.
That would be Ichiro. There he is.
Still wearing his batting gloves, though.
Ichiro making the transition apparently to from player to front office. We'll see, but he's the acting bench coach. There's a strike called on Candelario, 0-2. Candy has hit safely in 3 straight, batting .286, 5 homers this year for Candelario.
Candy's also been on base in 16 straight games. So if he's not getting a hit, he's usually getting on with a walk or something. He's got a great eye.
Here's your old friend Andrew Romine, who is wearing Seattle colors these days.
Andrew Romine was a good teammate. Just ask any of those guys down there in that third base dugout. They'll tell you the exact same thing. He was a great teammate.
Now the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And here's where Gonzalez likes to throw that breaking ball either down and in to the right-handed batter, or every now and then he'll try to get that breaking ball to wrap around the outside corner.
Candelario takes high, and he's gone full now, 3-2. Saw a stat recently where Candy has seen 85 more pitches than any of his teammates.
Wow.
I mean, he really works the count seemingly every single at bat, like he's done here.
It's pretty good for a young kid.
Flared out of play. Good plate discipline that I guess, Rod, you don't often see with young players.
You don't usually see that with young players, but he will tell you that he has worked long and hard with his father growing up. Candelario, his dad played some professional baseball, and his dad really helped him with his swing and also his plate discipline.
Little chopper foul. Will also, as the day goes on, get into the relationship between Candelario and Robinson Cano. Their fathers were very good friends, and so Cano and Candy hit in the offseason together. 3-2. Fouled away again, so he's making Gonzalez work here. Nick Castellanos waiting on deck. This has turned into an 8-pitch at bat right now. Number 9 coming up. And he draws the walk. So Candy with a 1-out base on balls. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, simply bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow for a free small order of curly fries. That's what Candelario is so good at. He was down in the count 0-2 and ends up drawing a walk.
Castellanos sitting on that on-deck circle got a chance to see a lot of what Marco Gonzalez is featuring as well this afternoon with that lengthy at-bat turned in by Candelario.
Nick back in the lineup. That's driven down the right field line, slicing foul. He missed the final game of the series against the Rangers. He was hit on the knee in game 2 in that series, and apparently it stung him so good that he came in the following day, couldn't go, but Nick back in there today.
Well, Ron Gardenhire was going to have to give Nicholas a day off sooner or later anyway.
Oh, 0-1. Pretty much forced Castellanos to get that day off. Line drive to left, base hit. Single for Castellanos, and Candelario moves up. 2 on, 1 out.
It's a nice job of just knowing exactly what Marco Gonzalez is going to try to do to you. This is not a bad pitch by Gonzalez. It's a changeup. It's off the plate outside, but Nicholas stays back long enough to recognize the circle change, and even though he's fooled on this pitch, he's out in front of it, still gets enough of it to get himself a base hit in the left field. Outstanding bat-to-ball skills for Nicholas Castellanos.
McCann is the DH today, and he is batting in the cleanup spot for the Tigers, and he's got himself an 8-game hitting streak going. Early scoring chance here for the Tigers. 2 on and 1 out.
James got his big boy britches on today in that number 4 hole, huh?
You know, I meant to look it up, but I don't believe he's batting cleanup this year.
They're checking on it right now, but I was thinking the exact same thing. I can never remember him batting in that number 4 spot since he's been a Tiger.
Pretty good numbers. 320 career against Seattle. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
Gonzalez is one of those guys that you can get early, and you want to try to get him before he settles in. He's had some outings this year where he's given up a run or 2 in the very first inning, so he does start off sluggish.
Missed again. 3 balls and no strikes, and now he's digging a hole here in the first inning. 26-year-old out of Fort Collins, Colorado, Marco Gonzalez. Here's a strike call. Well, we've looked it up, Rod. His 3rd career start in the cleanup spot
right
today, so not very many. First time this year. Now the 3-1. And he lost him, ball 4. That will load the bases. By the way, as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in today's game.
And base on balls really has not been an issue this season for Gonzalez. His last couple of outings, he's walked just 1 apiece. As a matter of fact, he hasn't walked more than 1 in any of his starts this year.
Well, he's got 2 already. He came into this game with 38 strikeouts and only 6 walks. Hicks with a bouncer up the middle, should be 2. Cano tags the bag 1, and that is a double play. We'll go to the 2nd. player when you look at most career home runs among actives against the Tigers. Rod, Nelson Cruz, man, they can't stop him.
He's been a Tiger killer. And the one thing about this, Mario, there's 4 other guys on this graphic right here, and they all have played most of their ball in the American League Central, so they see the Tigers 19 times a year. Cruz has never played in the same division as the Tigers and yet has done that much damage.
That's a good point. And 25 includes the postseason, so for whatever reason, when he sees the Old English D, he cranks it up. Got 7 homers this year as Matt Boyd goes back to work.
And right now, he is not necessarily swinging the bat all that well, so let's hope that for the next 3 games, the Tigers can keep him quiet.
High pop-up, first base side, Hicks and Machado. Who wants it? Look out, Machado fell. Hicks made the catch. 1 away. Time for the DTE Know Your Own Power. And Mitch Haniger comes strolling in. Haniger this season compared to last season. You see the power numbers are up.
You know, Haniger talked about the fact that a couple of years ago, he, like so many other people, man, just kind of started retooling his swing, and he started watching video on Miguel Cabrera, Josh Donaldson, Buster Posey are the 3 names that he gave, and he just kind of watched video on these guys, Mario, and just kind of changed the way that he now swings the bat. And of course, everybody's into this launch angle, and there's no doubt that Haniger's into that launch angle thing too.
You know, it's funny too, as we looked at those numbers, the average has gone down, but the power has gone up.
Right.
So I guess guys are willing to sacrifice the batting average if they can hit a few more over the fence.
And that's right. JD Martinez, the former Tiger, talked about watching Miguel Cabrera and several other really good hitters in baseball when he was retooling his swing before the Tigers signed him.
Now, the truly special ones, and Martinez has kind of morphed into this, are the guys that can hit 300 and still hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Those are the guys that use the entire field, and those are the guys, Mario, when they overshift, they'll take the lousy single the other way. They're not afraid to do that.
2-1 on Haniger.
That guy right there could hit a little bit. Edgar Martinez. A couple batting titles. Lots of silver sluggers. All-star appearances. You name it, Edgar did it. And a lot of times it's not the easiest thing to do to be a good hitting coach when you were such a great hitter yourself.
I wonder why that is.
Because you just don't have the patience sometimes, because it became so easy for you.
It makes sense.
And you just don't have the patience sometimes to deal with some of the hitters and the egos and different things like that. But very seldom do you see really, really great hitters be really good hitting instructors.
Hitting coach of the M's, Edgar Martinez. Here's the 2-2 now to Haniger. Just got a piece of it. Edgar had over 2,200 hits in his career. I forget, one year he knocked in 145 runs.
Did he really?
Imagine that.
145?
Which
and he probably only hit 10 home runs that year.
No, he had a few. He had 37. Ground ball foul, third base side.
Edgar did end up with over 300 homers.
Meanwhile, Matt Boyd looking pretty good early on here. He's retired 4 straight. The M's seem a little bit off balance against him.
It's the one thing that he's really done well all year. Matthews kept a lot of the hitters off balance.
It'll bust him inside 3-2. The other thing, and we've talked about this several times, is he has picked up his pace, shaving nearly 4 seconds between pitches. Swing and a miss. Haniger goes down, and another strikeout for Boyd.
It's a really nice pitch. The previous pitch, the 2-2 pitch, was a fastball that he knocked him off the plate with at 90 miles an hour. Then he comes back with this really good breaking ball, which he starts off the plate outside, and that ball ends up right on the outside corner. And a real nice location there by Matthew.
Here's Kyle Seager. Well, it's always got to be a real thrill for Boyd to face the Mariners. He is a Seattle kid. Grew up idolizing Randy Johnson. That'll dive in for a strike, 0-1. Seager at 241 on the year. Pulls this one to first, knocked down by Hicks, and Boyd will cover for the out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Matt Boyd. We go to the bottom of the second, where Jacoby Jones will lead things off for the Tigers. Monday through Wednesday at Comerica Park. Enjoy great savings with the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks, all for as little as $18 per person. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com/value. Sydney is not playing all that good baseball. In fact, everybody pretty much still bunched up in the Central. There's a swing and a miss by Jacoby Jones. Jones, Griner, Iglesias. Double play ball with the bases loaded, got Gonzalez out of any trouble in the first inning.
And the Tribe just got Andrew Miller back off the disabled list, but boy, did they miss him in their bullpen when he was on the DL. I heard you guys talking about this earlier in the year, just how much they were going to miss Brian Shaw, who signed a contract to pitch elsewhere, how valuable he was in that Cleveland bullpen. Boy, have they missed him.
There's a single back up the middle. Yeah, they had Miller come back last night, and he gave up the 2-run homer, which ended up being the game winner.
Yes, that bullpen is struggling. It's a nice job by Jacoby. That's a changeup at the bottom of the strike zone. Jacoby stays with it, doesn't try to do a whole lot with it, and sort of beat the shift right there.
Well, the Tigers loaded the bases with 1 out in the first, and they could not score. The Tigers this year are batting .167 with the bases loaded. And that is 12th in the league, and that has been something that has plagued them this year. Really men in scoring position overall. Griner looks at ball 1.
Yeah, Ron Gardenhire has to answer that question pretty much on a nightly basis, and one of the things that he continues to say is that we're getting on base, we're continuing to get lots of hits, but we're just not getting the big hits. But he also believes at some point in time it will turn for his team if they continue to get on.
Well, you would think just by the law of averages it'll start to turn around. And typically we're seeing 9, 10, 11 men left on base in Tigers ball games this year. At least it seemed that way in the Texas series. Griner waits on a 1-1.
One of the things that you have to take into consideration is it's not making any excuse for the guys, but most of the guys in the Tigers lineup these days are by and large very young players, guys that don't have a lot of major league experience, and a lot of times it takes those guys really a little bit of time before they can really slow the game down in RBI situations. I mean, Miggy has no problem with that. Vicker, Castellanos, no problem with that. But by and large, everybody else in that starting lineup, with the exception of Iglesias, is pretty much a younger player.
Right. Well, as an example, the Tigers didn't have many of their starting players in that Texas series. They were 4 for 33 with runners in scoring position in Texas. So it's been a challenge. Two and two on Griner. Jones goes. They got him picked off. Throw to second. The tag out. And they may look at it. Jacoby not going anywhere. And we'll see if the Tigers want to look at this. Hard to tell on that replay. Here's maybe a better look.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got him on that left shoulder.
Yeah,
right before that left hand gets on the bag, or at least about the same time.
Tigers don't want to waste a challenge on this, so they will not.
That was a really nice job by their first baseman, Healy, and we'll take a peek at it. Anytime there's a guy on first base and he gets picked off like that, as a first baseman, you almost have to come to meet that ball almost halfway from the pitcher, and so you can get a really clear lane to throw the ball down to the shortstop, and Healy did a very nice job of it.
One, 3, 4 on that put out. 2 and 2 on Grayson Griner. 2 out of 9 on the road trip. Called up on the road trip was Griner. Skies this one into shallow right center. D. Gordon under it, and there are 2 gone.
Here's what I was talking about with Healy, the first baseman. And Miguel Cabrera does this very well too. When the guy's picked off, you can see he came this far to get that ball, to create that angle so he can throw that ball down to second base without hitting the runner in the back. That's just a nice job there. And you can see that that's well done by the entire team, because Cano was inside the bag as well, where he took the throw from Healy.
That literally was the difference there. If he does not come out, they don't get him. 2 gone now for Iglesias. Iggy bends away from a strike. 220 for the Tigers shortstop. He had 7 hits on the last road trip. Rip foul. 0-2. Wow. Got a souvenir and 2 drinks in one hand. That is some serious talent.
That's very impressive.
It is.
Very impressive.
Soft line drive, base hit. Iglesias with an 0-2 single to left field.
The Tigers know that Gonzalez is going to try to go to that changeup, especially against the right-handers, and there's already been a couple of hits off that changeup today by 2 right-handed bats. As a matter of fact, maybe 3 of them. The Jacoby, also the swing by Iglesias, and also the one by Nicholas. Castellanos' base hit and Iglesias' base hit look identical.
Here is Machado. Tigers now have 3 hits. And Dixon looks at ball 1. McCann and Griner are going over some hitting instruction.
Right.
The 1-0. Dixon lines one to left center. That's a base hit. Iglesias will hold. He was going to try and get to third. Boy, the throw comes in over the second baseman's head, and Healy had to back it up.
It might be a little wet in the outfield, and that's why if you're a base runner today and you might want to take the extra base, you can also remember that it's rained here for the last couple of days, and I know they dump all the water in the outfield, and when Heredia picked this ball up after an aggressive turn by Iglesias, he simply airmailed everybody. That had to slip out of his hand.
Tigers another scoring chance now as Mikey Matuk strolls in. And that'll make it 4 Tigers hits. Matuk grounded to short back in the first inning.
Mikey Matuk said he was never going back to AAA again.
He didn't like it down there, did he?
When he got back, he said, "I'm never going back."
Well, it had to be a definite blow to him when he was sent down, and really coming off the second half he had last year. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball right field. That ball hit pretty good. On the move is Haniger, going back to the track, to the wall to make the catch. He bangs into the wall and holds on to the baseball. Mikey gave it a ride, but it fell just a little bit short. This doubleheader, Tigers and Seattle doing some battle here, and we'll bring in Craig Monroe now and check in with Simo. And Craig, Matt Boyd so far in this game has done a really good job of keeping these potent Seattle bats off balance.
Well, he truly has, Mario, and he's pitching with a lot of confidence, guys. He's pounding the strike zone with good quality pitches. He's changing speeds. Matthew Boyd, guys, is locked in as far as I'm concerned, dating back to last September, where he just seemed to figure it out.
He's got the bottom 3 here: Healy, Zunino, and Heredia. 6 up, 6 down against Boyd. Little chopper to the shortstop, and Iglesias throws him out. 1 away.
You know, one of the biggest pitches for Matthew Boyd this season has been his slider, and that's our bell tire pitch by pitch. And it's a pitch that he uses fearlessly to the left-handers and the right-handers, and he's also throwing it at different speeds and to different quadrants of the strike zone. And already today, some very uncomfortable swings to the left-handers on the Seattle Mariners team, who are very good left-handed hitters. So far so good against the lefties today for Boyd.
I know you guys both feel the same way, but that second half, especially the final month for Boyd, I think really showed what he is capable of. And I think, as Nino rips this one foul, I think spring training also kind of showed that it's probably the type of season he was going to have so far.
Yeah, he went about his business in spring training a little differently. He didn't want everybody to know that he pretty much knew he was a big leaguer. He was going to be in the rotation. So he really fought hard, took nothing for granted, but he worked extremely hard to get better, which he did under the tutelage of Chris Bosio.
3rd strikeout now for Boyd.
Well, you also have to love the fact that he's open-minded too, guys, to make those adjustments with the new pitching coach, Chris Bosio. And again, one of the big adjustments that he's made, especially with the slider, was dropping his arm slot. And Rod, that pitch has more depth to it, has better spin on it, and he's locating that pitch extremely well.
Yeah, it's also helped his fastball as well. Fastball a little bit more giddy up with that new arm slot that he's featuring it from.
Heredia looks at ball one. Do you guys think we make too much of the fact that he is cut down from his delivery in terms of seconds, about 4 seconds? He's so much quicker. Is too much made of that?
The infielders will tell you absolutely not.
Yeah.
They absolutely love the fact that he's working quick. It keeps them on their toes. That's why he gets so many great plays made behind him.
Well, I always enjoyed playing behind somebody that pitchers that worked fast, because you're right, Rod, you're on the balls of your feet, you're anticipating the ball being in the strike zone, and so you get better jumps as an outfielder as well.
He has gone 3-0 on the number 9 hitter, Guillermo Heredia. And there is ball 4. It's a walk, the first Seattle base runner. By and large, Mr. Boyd has done pretty good work in limiting the walks, although he's had a few more in his last couple starts, but he's been good at that. Here's D. Gordon. Gordon struck out to start the ball game. Strike one on Gordon.
D. Gordon has only walked twice this year in 145 at-bats. He does not walk, but it's no problem for him because he's hitting .338. At least it's not a problem now regarding the on-base percentage, but you would love to see your leadoff hitter have a little bit more patience than D has displayed this year.
Pulled right at Hicks, who knocks it down. He'll tag the bag for the out to retire the side. No runs, a walk, and one man left. And a bullet off the bat of D. Gordon.
That's the second bullet down at Hicks today.
When you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Jamer Candelario will get it going here for the Tigers. We go to the bottom third, game 1 of this doubleheader. Tigers and the Mariners. Seattle, pretty good team. They've come in with some good numbers offensively this year in a good division, but they are hanging tough over in the American League West. Candy to be followed by Castellanos and McCann. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike. 1-1 on Candelario.
And Candelario saw 9 pitches in his first plate appearance today against Gonzalez before walking. Adding to the pitches seen so far this year for the very talented switch hitter. Hey, see, we were talking about the Tigers and some of their struggles with runners in scoring position. How long did it take you before you were in the big leagues, before you really felt comfortable hitting with runners in scoring position? Because I was making the point we have a very young team.
Well, we definitely have a young team, right? And it did take me a little while. I'd say my second full season, that would be to 2004. I really felt like, okay, I belong. I can be productive here at the major league level as well as I was in the minor leagues. And so you start to gain a different kind of confidence. And I think that's what the boys are experiencing now. And the game is speeding up at times for them, but they'll find a way to slow it down. Even if through failure, you find a way to be better in those big situations.
Here is Castellanos. See, was there anyone in particular, whether it was a player or a coach, that helped you with that aspect, or was it just strictly experience?
I think it's just experience. I mean, guys can tell you till they're blue in the face, but until you're in the batter's box and until you experience it, until you come up big in a big situation, you truly don't believe it until it happens.
Castellanos had a single in his first at bat. Nick was 10 out of 22 on the road trip. Bouncer right side of the infield. They will not get there in time to cover. Gonzalez couldn't get there, and a poor throw from Healy, who knocked it down, so it's an infield hit.
It's one of those plays that you just run into trouble with when you overshift, and Healy's going to come into your picture right here, but stop it right there. I mean, right there where that ball is, you see Robinson Cano. Robinson Cano could have made that play if Healy wasn't so far off the bag initially, but so many times, man, that first baseman plays so far off the line, Mario and C, that your instincts tell you to go for that ball when really you should be going to first base because your second baseman can make that play.
Yeah, that certainly seemed like a much easier play for Cano, but the instincts take over. Here is McCann.
Tigers have 5 singles in the game so far, 2 base on balls and nothing to show for it.
And there's a 5-4-3 double play, the second twin killing of the afternoon. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire.
Hicks getting most of the reps over at first base with Miggy being on the disabled list, and boy, he's been busy today. Seager hit a bullet off his chest, but he recovered. He shuffled that ball to Matthew Boyd for the out, and then D. Gordon ripped one right at him, but he was able to gather himself and make the play at first base. So John Hicks been awfully busy so far today.
Yes, he has, man. Some bullets rifled at him.
Yeah, get the married men off the infield.
Or get him a chest protector, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Hicks has been equal to the task, though, as Segura leads it on.
This dude right here can hit, man. Segura, he can really hit.
.310 career in the minors and about .285 career in the big leagues. He's had over 300 this year. That'll miss way outside 2-1.
He came in hot too, 7 for his last 11 at bats before grounding out to shortstop in his first plate appearance today.
Is this guy one of the more underrated hitters in the league?
I think so.
I mean, see, you very rarely hear anything about Segura. Here's the 2-1. Outside 3-1.
I think part of that, Mario, is where he's played pretty much his entire big league career. He played in Milwaukee, then he played out on the West Coast in Los Angeles, and also in Arizona before now going to Seattle.
Fouled away, 3-2.
Right, I'm also noticing a lot of guys choking up now. They're trying to get more bat control.
Is that because of the launch angle?
Well, I think some guys are thinking launch angle, but I guess the older hitters, they're thinking the same thing. Get on top of the baseball, swing down through it.
Segura goes fishing. Four strikeouts.
That's what Boyd has done very well with his fastball all year. He'll throw you lots of breaking balls, lots of changeups for strikes. He'll get you looking for that. Then he'll feature that fastball and just tease you at 89, 90 miles an hour at the top of the strike zone and get tons of swings and misses.
Rod, speaking of launch angle, I was talking to Torrey Hunter, our good friend, former Tiger, and he believes that guys are changing their swings for no reason. He goes, you have to still think get on top of the baseball. You have to still think down and through it. And he said he believes when you're trying to create that angle, that's why we're seeing the number of strikeouts that we continue to see. And guys just seem to not care about that at all.
Yeah, see, but the home runs are going up, though.
Home runs and strikeouts. I mean, I guess you have to kind of pick your poison. I mean, do you want to be an average guy? Or a guy that's more of a gap-to-gap guy, or do you want to be an all-or-nothing guy? And I think that's a question that most hitters will have to ask themselves.
That's flying to left center field. It's going to get down a base hit and more. Jones sprawling out there. Here comes a throw to second. Cano is in with a double. A 1-out 2-base hit. That'll be the first hit of the ball game for Seattle.
Nice job here by Jacoby Jones getting over this ball, trying to prevent Robinson Cano from getting a double. But Cano running a whole lot better these days. He lost a few pounds in the offseason, and he's going first to third, really running out of that batter's box. They say he's having a really good year so far, Robinson.
That'll bring up Nelson Cruz. Hey, Craig, to your point, we just finished a series in Texas where we saw a kid by the name of Joey Gallo, who hits him about 600 feet. Exit velocity is just among the best in baseball, but he batted 200 last year and hit 40 home runs. So is that the way the game is going?
Well, it looks like it, Mario, because guys are continuously talking about the launch angle, but there's still some guys that believe in the great balance in the batter's box, still thinking down and through it, trying to get on plane early enough to still allow their bat to stay in the zone for a long period of time.
I know that's something you and I talked about last year when this whole big old launch angle thing kind of took flight, that you still believe in what you were taught as a player.
I truly do. I just think the more things you put on my plate, the more I think about it in the batter's box, and the worse I'm going to be. I like to try to keep it simple. And for me, hitting is about rhythm. It's about timing. Catching the baseball out front creates the launch angle for me. And I believe that's why I was able to hit a few home runs at the major league level.
1-1 on Cruz. Fouled back out of play, 1-2. Do you guys think that hitting instructors have had to change the way they approach their job now because of this launch angle?
I think so.
I think some of them have.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys. As a matter of fact, man, they're starting to hire guys in baseball, like the Arizona Diamondbacks have hired the one guy that really helped JD Martinez retool his swing.
Yeah.
You know, so if they don't have that coach, they'll find somebody that can help their guys with launch angle.
Right, but to me it seems more about getting on plane and trying to get your bat in the zone, in the hitting zone, and trying to leave it there for a long period of time. I know we talked about JD Martinez when he was a Tiger, talking about the number of clicks when you're watching yourself on the computer and trying to see how long your bat stays in the zone. I just think that's really the key, is keeping your bat in the zone allows you to drive the baseball to all fields.
You know, they used to say that Ichiro Suzuki could hit 35 home runs a season if he wanted to. He preferred to be a 300 hitter in the big leagues, but he had that kind of power and easily could have done that.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn could have hit a few more home runs himself, but he was unselfish. He didn't really want to hit homers. He just wanted singles and doubles.
Well, Ichiro's got a lot of speed too, Mario. He can hit it on the ground, 5-5 hole, and beat it out.
Good point. Cruz looks at the ball in tight, 2-2.
Don't hang that breaking ball to Cruz that he just threw him a couple of pitches ago. He got away with one. I don't know what he's going to come back here with, but if he does throw that breaking ball, you need to make sure you get it down to a dangerous right-handed batter.
Time called. Boyd delivers it anyway. A very late time given to Cruz.
Guys, with Robinson Cano at second base here, it's got me to thinking about when I play in the outfield here, where when it's wet, the weather hasn't been good. Obviously, if the ball's on the ground, it's going to be wet. It's going to be tough to grip. I remember taking a little pine tar and putting it on my glove to make sure that if the ball was hit to me, I had a chance to throw the guy at second base.
That's cheating.
No, it's not cheating. I'm trying to make sure I don't airmail it, Rod, and throw it up into the stands, because what you saw the first play, I mean, the ball is just right now is just tough to grip. It really is. So I'd have a little pine tar just to make sure I could grab the baseball and make an accurate throw.
That's cheating.
Rod said that's cheating. It might have been, but I was trying to make sure I didn't look crazy.
No, I'm with you there. Swing and a miss, and Cruz out of there. Now Boyd with 5 strikeouts. Well, he made him work, but he finally won that battle.
And let's take a look at how Boyd attacks a guy that's really had the Tigers' numbers over the years. He is so dangerous. You have to make sure you keep that ball down in the strike zone against him. You want to show him up. That's that breaking ball he got away with, and eventually he's going to go right back down to the bottom of the strike zone with a real good pitch to finish him off. How about those eye level changes right there? Up, down, up, down, up, down.
That's what keeps you off balance as a hitter, Rod, for me. When I was in the batter's box and the pitcher had the ability to do exactly what you just showed there with Matthew Boyd against a real good power hitter in Nelson Cruz, you change eye levels. You go up, then you go to the bottom of the zone. You move that fastball inside, breaking ball inside, then that opens up the outside. Matthew Boyd's been really good at that this season.
Haniger, the batter here, with 2 outs and a runner at second.
You know what, Mario, if you hadn't really been watching Matthew Boyd all year, that pitch by pitch there to Cruz in a nutshell is what he's done all year.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is.
Up, down, in, out, breaking ball here, breaking ball there.
Here's the 1-1. And that's something Matt even said back in spring training, how this year his success would hinge on the fact that he would use all 4 parts of the plate, change speeds. And I think a great example of how sometimes velocity can be overstated. 2-1 though on Haniger. Fouled away, 2-2.
The one number, sorry about that. See, the one number where Matthew really has improved this year is against left-handers. Left-handers come in hitting only 115 against Matthew. They hit about 100 points higher than that last year against him. So that's one area that he's really improved. He's really shut down left-handed bats.
And Mario, to your point, when you're able to hit all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, you now don't allow the hitter to pick a side. You have to respect Matthew Boyd now, and all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. A lot of times we as hitters, we like to be able to split the plate in half. I can only look away because Matthew attacks me away, and he never shows in. So I'm not afraid of him coming inside, so I don't have to look for that particular pitch. So give him a lot of credit. He continues to make himself better.
And boy, we have definitely seen it this year. Here's the 3-2, but now Haniger steps out.
This is all part of maturing for Matthew Boyd. There's a base open, there's 2 outs, there's a left-hander in deck, and they've got their RBI leader in the batter's box. He's going to make sure he hits his pitch if he gives in to Haniger here. It's a nice job.
Does not, and he walked him. Second walk. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. How about Matthew Boyd? Lowest hard hit rate allowed this season. He is at the top of that list, and some pretty good pitchers on that list.
Lots of soft contact. DeGrom on that list, Barrios on that list, and left-hander Blake Snell, who we saw earlier this year.
hard hit is defined as exit velocity of 95 miles per hour or more. So Boyd limits that better than anybody. Here's Kyle Seager. Foul back.
Seager hitting .265 against left-handers. And while Haniger, who he just walked, was hitting .357. So that was a wise base on balls. Now he's got to make sure he makes the quality pitches to get Seager out, who homered twice a couple of days ago in Toronto for the Seattle Mariners.
Dixon playing way out there in right field. Still fairly straight on the infield, a wave and a miss. Oh, 2 on Kyle Seager. First scoring chance of the game for Seattle, a double by Cano and a walk to Haniger.
Right, Matthew Boyd's really been pitching aggressive inside to the left-handers, and now I feel like he'll go to that nasty slider 0-2 down and away and see what happens here. Get a swing and miss.
And there it is, a wave
call.
and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Boyd. Last time Grayson Greiner was at Comerica, it was Tiger Fest. Johnny Kane has more on that when we come back. Every Tigers home game from June through September for as little as $29.99 per month. That's a great deal. If you'd like to order your digital ballpark pass, go to tigers.com/pass. Here come the Tigers now as we go to the bottom of the 4th, and a strike called on Big John Hicks. Hicks, Jones, Greiner coming up here in the 4th inning. 4-3 double play off the bat of Hicks in the 1st inning. That'll miss outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And John Hicks getting a whole lot more playing time in the first few weeks of the season than he thought he was going to get with Miggy and going on the 10-day disabled list.
Foul tip, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hicks was 0 for his last 11 on the road trip, trying to get it going here at home. I wonder how difficult it is, you know, when a guy like Hicks, who hasn't played every day and now is forced to play every day, maybe in terms of physically how it is on your body to go out there every single day.
I think he's good because they just left spring training for the most part, and when you're not an everyday player, they do get lots of workouts in, whether it be in the weight room, whether it be extra running, whatever it takes for a guy to keep himself in tip-top shape. So I think he's good in that regard.
Well, and I can also tell you guys he's excited to begin to play every single day. Trust me when I tell you, your goal is to get in there and play and compete every single day. Hicks is excited about getting the opportunity to show what he can do on a consistent basis.
easier to kind of forget about the bumps and bruises, I suppose.
Yes, it is.
Here's the 2-2. Back to monitor. 3-2 on Hicks.
Gonzalez not afraid to throw that cutter. He really didn't use that cutter all that much last year because he was coming off Tommy John surgery the previous season. But now that cutter is back for him. He's not afraid to throw it. And he likes to bust right-handers inside with it. We've seen him do it a couple of times already to Hicks.
In the air toward left center field. On the run, Heredia still going, not going to get there. It's going to bounce over the wall for a ground rule double for John Hicks. Leadoff two-bagger here in the fourth.
Most of the hits that Gonzalez has given up here today have been on his changeup, and all of them have been away from the right-handed batters. Tigers doing a nice job of putting that changeup in play.
Right, one of the things that I love, Mario, too, about this swing here is that he was fooled on the pitch. You could tell that the body was out front, but did you see how he kept the hands back? And then once he recognized it was changeup, the bat stayed in the zone for a long period of time, and that's what allows you to drive that ball in the gap.
Yeah, see, his swing looked like Iggy's swing and also Castellanos' swing. They got singles, but Hicks got a double, but all three were a little bit out in front.
Yeah, Hicks is a strong guy.
Well, he gave himself a chance, too, guys, because he kept his hands back once he recognized that pitch.
Jacoby lines one to right field. It's straight at Henniger. Runner will tag. And the throw coming to third, not in time.
What a great at-bat by Jacoby Jones.
Time now for a game break brought to you by Ram. Here's Johnny Kane.
Well, Mario, Grayson Griner coming to the plate now. One of three catchers in the lineup today for Ron Gardenhire. Of course, Grayson made his MLB debut last Sunday against Kansas City in KC and had a knock in his first AB. He said he had dreamt about playing in a major league stadium ever since the time he was 4 years old. He also said he's dreamt about playing at Comerica Park ever since the Tigers drafted him back in 2014. As you mentioned, as we headed into the top of the fourth inning, or excuse me, the bottom of the fourth, that this is Grayson Griner's first time back at Comerica Park since Tiger Fest. So this guy's looking forward to putting on a little show here in front of the fans.
And there's a base hit right on cue into left field to drive in the run. Griner with an RBI single, his first big league RBI. Against a drawn-in infield, the Tigers take the lead. Well, they want that baseball now for Griner.
Rod, for me, that's a great at-bat there with a run at third base, less than two out. We've kind of talked about the Tigers scuffling in that department, but the fact that he was able to use the middle part of the field with the infield drawn in, that's a great piece, and that's how you drive in those big runs that the Tigers desperately need.
That definitely was a good at-bat.
You know, the Tigers had not had a hit in 16 straight at-bats with the runner at third base prior to that single by Griner. It had just been real hard for the Tigers to get that run in from third, but Grayson got it done. Iglesias, the batter. It'll bust inside, and the count goes 2-0.
Gonzalez not afraid to bust the Tigers inside.
And he's done that quite often early in this contest, Rod. As a hitter, you really want to push him out over the plate, look for some out of third, because he seems to be crowding him with good cutters on the inside part of the plate.
In the air down the left field line, and Heredia coming over.
I think the Tigers have a wonderful game plan today against Gonzalez, and it's worked so far. They do know that he will come inside, but what he has failed to do, he's failed to come inside with 2 strikes. He'll come in to get 2 strikes, but then he simply goes right back outside with that changeup or that breaking ball, and that's where he's been hurt today.
Now Machado, who had a single in the second. The Tigers have out-hit this good hitting Seattle team 7-1. Strike called on Dixon.
I brought this up at the time, but Johnny Kane was getting ready to do his hit on Griner. The at-bat of the inning so far is Jacoby Jones' line drive to right field to get the runner over to third base with just 1 out. Wonderful at-bat by the youngster Jacoby.
Right, also, though, when you hit it that hard, you sure do want to get rewarded. But he got rewarded in getting him over. There's no question. That's definitely a team at bat. So you feel good about that, boy. But that selfish side of you sure want to get a hit when you hit it that hard.
1-1 on Machado. 1-2.
Just to finish my point on Gonzalez and the fact that he's given up a lot of hits with his off-speed stuff. He's given up 7 total hits today. 6 of those on off-speed pitches. 5 change-ups and 1 breaking ball.
Again, coming inside, 2-2.
Meanwhile, Matthew Boyd just continues to put up zeros.
It's been a great start today for Boyd. The count stays on Machado. Gonzalez was a former first-round pick of the Cardinals back in 2013. It was acquired by Seattle. Swing and a miss out in front to strike him out. That'll end the inning. Tigers take the lead on Grayson Griner's first Major League RBI. It's been authenticated and given to James McCann for safekeeping. Back in the old collegiate days, Matthew Boyd at Oregon State and Marco Gonzalez at Gonzaga actually faced each other. That was back in February of 2013 in a game in Palm Springs, California. And, it looked like Matthew got the better of that matchup. And now here they are facing each other in the big league.
Right.
And Matthew has a 1-0 lead on the RBI single by Grayson Griner. It'll be Ryan Healy to lead things off. Simo, did you ever face anybody in the minor leagues that you wanted to get a hold of in the big leagues?
Yes, one of my good friends, Corey Thurman. We played high school baseball together in Texas at Texas High in Texarkana, Texas.
Really?
And yeah, he was a Rule 5 from the Kansas City Royals, Mario, to the Toronto Blue Jays. And the Tigers went to play the Blue Jays, and guess who was starting?
No kidding.
It was Corey Thurman. So I was excited to face him, but I was also so proud that both of us had got an opportunity to live out our childhood dream, and that's to play at the major league level.
How'd you do against him?
I want to believe I was 1 for 3. I just struck me out one time, and I got a base knock.
Nice. So you each won. Great.
Well, that putt I didn't like. You know, I wanted to win every battle, but that happens. That's just a competitor in me. Great guy, though. Great family. So, no, I was excited for the Thurman family.
3-2 on Healy. Bottom three coming up here. Healy, Zunino, and Heredia. Tigers have out hit the M's 7-1. And there's another walk. It'll be the third of the game now for Mr. Boyd. 3 walks, 1 hit. That's been it. Now Zunino. He struck out in the third. Early on in the season was on the DL with an oblique injury. Former first-round pick Zunino. Skies this one in the air to left field. That ball is hit pretty deep. Going back to the track, though, is Matuk. And instead, Jones steps in front, makes the catch.
Zunino just missed from hitting that ball a country mile. That might have ended up out there by the statues. It's a breaking ball, and look at the launch angle here. I mean, straight up, and the ball went straight up in the air. I mean, if he gets just a little bit more of this one, Matthew will take it.
It'll bring up Heredia. Didn't Zunino just the other day hit one to the top deck at Rogers Center?
That's right.
He's got massive power.
Off the Budweiser side at the Rogers Center. I think it traveled about 440-something feet. He's got some serious power. They got a lot of guys on their team with a lot of power. They really do.
Heredia had a walk in the third. Swing and a miss.
That change piece has been really good. And not only the changeup has it been good, but he's crisscrossing the changeup and the slider in the strike zone. And so far, the Seattle hitters have not been able to figure Matthew Boyd out at all.
The only hit the double by Cano, but he was stranded. Heredia laid off the fastball up. Matthew now up to 71 pitches. They made him work in the fourth inning, stretched him out a little bit, but they stranded 2.
And Tigers' entire staff is in pretty good shape. Tigers haven't played in a couple of days. Thursday was a scheduled day off. Rained out on Friday. Doubleheader today. How about Fires in his last outing? He was pretty good.
He was really good.
And we didn't know it at the time, but Liriano, he went out there and took his turn 5 days ago, and a couple days ago he was sick. Tried to pitch through an illness, but the entire roster was sick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been running through the Tigers clubhouse, and Liriano had to pitch with the flu-like symptoms. You could tell from the get-go, really. His command was off. He struggled all day long. Really not anything we'd seen out of Liriano this year.
What's Matthew going to do here, C?
I'd like to see that changeup, Rod. I know he likes to go slider down that back leg, but I feel like changeup, he's got him set up right now. You're good at first guessing, though.
You get lucky every now and then.
Oh, is that what you call it, luck? I just call it being good, baby.
2-2 on Heredia. Low ball 3.
And it might be a time for Matthew to make a little bit of an adjustment. So far, these two hitters have really started to lay off that breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. You don't want to run into a situation where you start to walk guys.
Ripped foul. He was on front. .75 now for Boyd. Here is the breakdown. You see the 26 pitch fourth inning. Everything else is in pretty good shape. Soft line drive to left field, base hit. It'll drop in a single. They're going to try and get to third. Here's the throw. It's wide. Throwback down to second is held up, and Healy got all the way to third on a blue single to left. Let's check in now with Johnny Kane.
Yeah, Mario, you know, a lot of guys have interesting stories about how they found out that they've been traded. Well, D. Gordon, for example, who's stepping to the plate right now, he's in Miami, had just gotten back from a vacation with his girlfriend to the Bahamas. Says he wakes up in the morning, had 24 missed calls, finds out he had been traded. Well, he found out he was also going to be transitioning from second base to outfield, so he headed over to Dick's Sporting Goods right away to get himself a center fielder's glove. Only problem was Dick's was only selling a red glove. He bought it anyway. As it turned out, though, he's never used the glove, but he does have it as a backup if needed.
Well, he's made the transition apparently. Has not affected his offense. And he pops a bunt back to the screen.
Johnny said he made the transition from second base to center field. He was a Gold Glove second baseman a couple of years ago for the Florida Marlins.
Well, the one thing he said about that route is he said, for Robbie Cano, I'll make that transition.
Well, he had no choice.
One of the game's best.
That transition was made for him.
That's right. That's right. That was already determined.
He's a game changer, though. This guy had over 200 hits last year, over 60 steals.
60 swipes. He was caught 16 times. That led the league, the stolen base total.
Yeah, he led the National League with 60. And how many did Merrifield have? 34?
30-something, yeah.
34 in the American League.
3 times over in the National League, D led the league in steals.
And just about every year in the minors.
Fly to center field. See if it's deep enough to score the run. Jones under it. Runner will tag. Throw comes into third base. It'll be a sac fly. And an RBI for D. Gordon. Seattle has tied it up 1-1 ball game.
Guys, on the play prior to that, when Heredia got jammed down the line there, would have really loved to see Mikey Maktouk come up. And even though the runner's running in front of you, Healy was running in front of him, you really, even though you think you have a chance to throw him out, would have liked to keep that double play in order there as well and try to maybe go to second there and keep Heredia from being in scoring position with 2 outs with a really good hitter and Segura up right now.
That's a great point.
Ground ball towards short. 2 steps to his right. Iggy will throw him out. And the Mariners settle for 1. They tie it up. When we come back, we'll tell you the pitch the Tigers have had a lot of success with. Luck against the changeup of Gonzalez today.
They truly have, guys, and give them a lot of credit. Even though they look fooled on these particular pitch, they've done a really good job of keeping the hand back, recognize the pitch, keeping the bat through the zone. And you're right, Mario, they've come up big so far against this changeup, which is a plus pitch for Gonzalez.
Only 1 hit today on the fastball for the Tigers off of Gonzalez.
Opponents this year were batting .354 against the Gonzalez fastball.
Maybe that explains why he's thrown so many off-speed pitches today.
Switching it up. Matuk is leading it off. Mikey, then Candelario and Castellanos, top three. And he'll dive in for a strike, 0-2. Mikey hit a ball to the wall in right field that Haniger ran down and slammed into the wall to make the play on.
That ball nearly carried out of here.
Yeah, just kept going and going. Matuk right back up the middle. Cano going to cut it off and throw him out.
Robinson Cano is so good at that position.
Rod, no way
How do
he
you
makes
get
that play.
this much arm strength behind the throw when your body is carrying you into center field? It's amazing the plays that he makes. And you know what else? He makes it look way too easy. Way, way too easy.
Some serious arm strength right here.
I can't think of another second baseman that has this kind of arm strength. Maybe Jonathan Scope of the Baltimore Orioles.
Do you remember when Cano was with the Yankees and he would make a play like that? People would actually criticize him and say it looks like he's being lazy.
Nonchalant, yeah. Very few could make the game look as easy as the Robinson Cano has made the game look, and yet put up the kind of numbers that he has put up.
Candelario, the batter. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Candelario and Robinson Cano's dad were teammates in the Houston Astros organization way back in the day. And obviously their dads introduced the kids to one another. And even though Robinson's quite a few years older than Candelario, they've maintained a real nice relationship, and he's really helped him out in the offseason with, you know, how to really deal with pro ball on a day-to-day basis.
Well, it's uncharacteristic quick at bat. And Johnny had a little bit more on that relationship. Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on there, Rod. 11-year age gap right around there. But, you know, you can imagine being impressionable at 9 or 10 years old, and you see a guy coming through your dad's baseball facility named, you know, Robinson Cano, goes on to, you know, to fulfill his big league dreams. And those guys have been able to keep that connection alive. And in fact, Jeimer Candelario refers to himself as Robbie Cano's little brother.
Good workout partner, to be sure, in the offseason. As Castellanos fouls it away, 0-1. Nicholas with 2 hits, both singles. Castellanos now batting .331. He is hitting over 400 on balls put in play.
He is really coming into his own as a dangerous big league hitter. Drove in 100 runs last year. On his way to driving in 100 more.
I'm of the belief, and I don't know how you guys feel, but maybe too much was expected from Castellanos early on, and people just wanted him to be this kind of hitter right when he got to the big leagues.
Well, sometimes if you have that reputation as blazing through the minor leagues as he did with real good numbers, sometimes those expectations when you do get to the big leagues, they can be quite lofty.
Drilled to left field. Heredia is on the move, and he'll get there for the out. 1-2-3 innings. Simo, will see you at Tigers Live postgame after game 1.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
of this doubleheader. If you want to play golf the pro, well, now's your chance to play with an LPGA player at the Volvic LPGA Championship Wednesday, May 23rd in Ann Arbor. For more details and to enter for your chance to win, go to foxsportsdetroit.com. Well, Matt Boyd goes back to the hill now. He's got Robinson Cano to lead things off. Cano had a double in his last at bat but did not score. Typical Matt Boyd outing here. He's just kind of bobbing and weaving through the lineup. He has surrendered only 2 hits in this game. Has walked 3 and 1 has scored. Ball 2 outside to Cano. Cano also came in with 21 walks this year, 7th in the American League.
I can't think of another left-hander in the sport that has as pretty swing as Robinson Cano does right now.
Popped up third base side for Candelario. 1 gone.
Matthew got him on that front leg right there. Outstanding pitch by Matthew Boyd, who continues to keep him off balance.
I can't really think of any actives, I suppose. You know, Gwynn comes to mind of those that have played the game. Brett.
Joe Mauer used to have a really good swing, but you can see he's 2-0 right now. He's looking for a fastball. He gets on the front leg a little bit too soon. He drops a breaking ball on him, and Robinson just kind of flails at it, pops it straight up. It's a nice job by Matthew Boyd disrupting the timing there of Robinson Cano, even though it was 2 balls and no strikes.
Nelson Cruz, strikeout pop-up. Now Boyd will step off.
Well, a lot of these Seattle Mariners hitters I've noticed the last couple of innings, Mario, trying to slow Boyd down because he is working at a pretty rapid pace.
To right field and hit well. Castellanos going back. He's going to the wall to make the catch. 2 outs. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by T-Mobile. 2 away now, and here is Mitch Haniger. Haniger looks at ball 1.
Matthew Boyd has pitched very carefully to Haniger, and why not? He leads their team in home runs and RBI.
Right back to the mound. It's going to be an easy 1, 2, 3 inning. Coming up, 3, 4, 5 for the Tigers. Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. And by Sling TV, live TV you love, only better. Back here at the ballpark, the Tigers and Seattle hooking up in game 1 in this series. And it's going to be McCann, Hicks, and Jones here against the lefty Gonzalez. First one is outside, 1-0. Double play ball and a walk for Big James, who is DHing and batting cleanup here in game 1. Tigers are still without Miguel Cabrera and Leonis Martin, two really key performers, and that's, I guess, something, Rod, you got to keep in mind here in this stretch where those two big guys are out.
Well, Martin was doing such a marvelous job in that leadoff spot, getting on base, lots of extra base hits, some occasional power. He was really playing well in center field, and of course, you know what Miggy brings to the dance every single night. So those are two big players they're missing right now.
3-0 on McCann.
James might have the green light here. Now, whether he decides to swing or not is probably totally up to him.
He'll take, it's a strike. When you are given the green light on 3-0, it still has to be something that you are keyholing, as they say, right?
Well, if you like the ball middle in, that's exactly where you look in the 3-0 count. And if you get that fastball in your happy zone, then you let it fly, but you don't swing at anything other than where you like to hit the ball the best.
Oh, Mac thought he had a walk. Not so, says Scott Berry.
Yeah, that was a 91-mile-per-hour tailing fastball that must have just caught the black.
Here's the 3-2. To center field for Gordon. On the run, still going. One gone. Well, Sunday, May 27th, the Tigers take on the White Sox at 1:10. Bring your little princess to the ballpark for Princess Day. Special ticket package includes a game ticket, a Tigers tiara, a pregame princess parade, and meet and greet with a princess. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com/princess, of course. Here is John Hicks. Double and a double play ball. He has scored the only Tigers run. Hicks snapped an 0 for 12 with his two-bagger to lead off the fourth. Tigers got him the third with a fly ball by Jones and then scored him on the single by Greiner. It'll drop in for a strike, 1-1. Gonzalez's dad actually played in the Tigers organization. His dad, Frank, was a 16th round pick of the Tigers in '89.
He was.
He was. So his dad has Tiger ties. High, towering fly ball to center. Gordon camps under it. And there are two gone. Frank Gonzalez got as high as AAA in Toledo in the Tiger system. And now his son, Marco, is in the big league.
Well, Dad didn't get an opportunity to realize his dream of playing in the majors, but his son has had the opportunity to do so. So I'm sure Dad is quite proud of that.
Yeah, you always want better for your kids, don't you?
No doubt.
Here's Jacoby Jones. Got to say, the way the Tigers worked Gonzalez early in this game, I didn't think he'd be around long.
Yeah, they were getting hit after hit after hit, but they just couldn't get the big hits to push more runs across the plate.
Ground ball to third. That is a fair ball. It's off the glove of Seager. Jones on his way to second, and he's in there standing up. Great job by Jacoby, man. He was running hard.
I don't know what happened there to Kyle Seager, who was a pretty sure-handed third baseman. That ball hit him right on the left knee.
Ooh.
As he went down to backhand that ball, and he got up limping, and once he got over to get it, and Jacoby Jones was already on his way to second base, and he's in scoring position.
Seager is a Gold Glove winner. That was back in the 14 season. That ball drilled him in the knee, and now a chance for Griner. They have ruled that a double. That's what I'd like to hear, especially since Jones is my guy and picked the stick.
Jones is your guy today?
He's my guy.
He's had a good day so far.
That was a double all the way. Doesn't matter if Gold Glover had it clang off his knee, it's double.
Put a glove on that knee.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Griner checked it low, 1-1.
And Griner had a really nice plate appearances last time that he was up. He came up with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. The infield was in, hit a ball right back up the middle. 6 feet 6 inches.
Slice to right field, base hit. Here comes Jones rounding third. They're going to send him home. Throw to the plate, and he is safe. Oh, Jones beat the throw by Haniger.
What a throw by Haniger, though, but a great jump by Jacoby Jones. I'm sure Seattle Mariners might want to look at it.
Scott Berry was right on the call, signaling safe immediately. Ooh, that's close.
It's going to be really close. They're letting it go?
Apparently so.
Great jump off second base for Jacoby Jones.
I'm surprised they're not challenging this.
I'm quite surprised they aren't challenging it either. Outstanding throw by Haniger in right field, who has an above average throwing arm.
Meanwhile, Griner has knocked in both Tigers' runs in this game. Boy, the hustle of Jacoby Jones factoring in twice in that run. Here's the 1-0 to Iglesias, and it's a ball low, 2-0. Perhaps some bullpen action now for Seattle. We'll see. Here's the 2-0 pitch. 3-0 on Iglesias. Two-out double by Jones, and a single for Griner scores him.
Jacoby Jones can just change the game in so many different ways. With his speed on the base paths, he's got occasional power, and of course defensively, in making all the plays in left field or in center field. How many balls has he cut off that have been headed to the wall in the outfield?
A lot. Rolled foul just outside of the bag.
That's why Ron Gardenhire really appreciates Jacoby Jones and elected to keep him on the 25-man roster instead of sending him down to the minor leagues, even though he had more options. And Jacoby has played some really good baseball.
(3-2) on Iglesias. That means Griner will be on the move. Drilled in the air to left. That ball is hit well, and Iglesias has hit it out. It's gone. 2-out, 2-run shot for Jose Iglesias. Tigers with a 2-out rally here have scored all 3 runs in this inning with 2 gone.
Iglesias got that cut fastball at 87 that didn't quite get in as far as Gonzalez wanted it, and he jumped all over it. And Iggy, as soon as he hit it, he knew he was gone. Over the Tigers bullpen.
That is the 10th Tigers hit of the day. They've opened up a 4-1 lead.
This Seattle Mariners team has been a very good road team. They have not lost a series on the road all year and have lost very few games away from their ballpark in Seattle. They come in 13-7 on the road. 13-7.
They have played 7 road series. They have won 5 of them. They have split 2. They have not lost any. And Machado looks at a strike, 0-1. Bullpen working now for the Mariners. Goodell, the right-hander, tuning up. Three-run sixth for the Tigers. Iglesias, a 2-run shot. Fought that one off, stays alive. Gonzalez has gone as high as 100 pitches in a game. That was his last start against the Angels. And right now he is at 94. Here's his breakdown. He's had a couple of quick innings. Again, the 0-2. Machado takes low, 1-2. Dixon a single and a strikeout. Here are the 6th inning heroes for the Tigers, Jones and Iglesias. Griner 2 RBIs today.
Yeah, bottom of the Tigers batting order getting it done in this afternoon. Jacoby with a couple of hits, a run scored. Griner, a couple of hits, couple of ribbies, and a big home run by Iglesias.
And it was Seattle that came into this game with the vaunted offense.
That's right.
Tigers have 10 hits. Seattle has 2.
Matthew Boyd has kept them off balance all afternoon long with a mixture of great changeups and breaking balls and fastballs. Just a wonderful pitching performance so far, turned in by Matthew, going up against the ball club that he rooted for as a kid.
Meanwhile, Gonzalez having trouble putting Machado away. Pulled foul. 9th pitch of this at bat coming up.
Candelario also had a 9-pitch at bat earlier in the contest. As a matter of fact, it was in the very first inning against Marco Gonzalez.
And again, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He finally got Machado to end the inning. A big inning for the Tigers, highlighted by the home run swing of Jose Iglesias, a 2-run shot. 4-1 Tigers. Every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball of your favorite supported devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Now Matt Boyd goes back to work, enjoying a 3-run lead as we head to the 7th inning. Kyle Seager leads it off. It was his misplay of the ground ball by Jones which opened up the inning for the Tigers. Seager, Healy, and Zunino for the Mariners. And that hit him, so the hit batter will lead things off here in the 7th. Came in twice on him. That time he plunked him.
It's a rough inning for Kyle. Jacoby hit a ball off his knee, and then Matthew Boyd comes inside and clips him on that right elbow.
Now there is action in the Tigers bullpen. Buck Farmer is warming up.
Kyle has a younger brother, and Corey, who plays baseball for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who is out for the season with Tommy John surgery.
Very talented baseball family.
Right.
That's a key blow for the Dodgers. Man.
Yeah, the Dodgers, I don't know if they're going to be able to make it this year in the West, man. It's just the Diamondbacks are playing some tremendous baseball. Colorado's a really good baseball team too. Dodgers are getting buried in the West.
Healy is a former Oakland Athletic. He has power at the bottom of their lineup. He has 6 home runs this year.
Yeah, I like the way that he's staying away from him too. I mean, if he's going to beat you, and Healy can hit the ball over the fence to center field, but that's where you want him to beat you. You don't want him to beat you to left center field or to left field. Make him beat you to right field, right center field, the biggest part of the ballpark.
Stayed away again, but this time up high, 2-1.
I believe Healy has 6 homers in his last 11 games. That's how hot he's been. Hit 25 last year. Good pitch. Great pitch.
2-2. Healy walked and scored in the 5th inning, coming around on a sac fly by D. Gordon for the only Seattle run of the game. Drill down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball and go to the corner. Seager is on his way to third. They will stop in there. It's going to be a double for Healy, and Seattle is in business here in the 7th. Only the 3rd hit allowed here in this game from Boyd.
94 pitches in. Ron Gardenhire is going to make a pitching change.
Buck Farmer will be summoned out of the bullpen. So 6 plus 2 batters for Matthew Boyd today. And Farmer now will try and put out the flames here as Matt Boyd departs. We'll be back.
6 innings of this particular contest, Matthew Boyd really kept the Seattle Mariners hitters off balance with a mixture of outstanding breaking balls, fastballs, and changeups. Only 3 hits given up, and trouble really here in just the 7th inning that he ran into before Ron Gardenhire decided to lift him out of the contest with 94 pitches.
So Buck Farmer is in now for the Tigers. Mike Zunino steps in, and he shoots a ground ball to first base, knocked down by Hicks. He will slide to get the out. A run will score. Seager comes in from third. It's an RBI for Zunino.
What happened there? Did he slip?
I think so.
Fall?
Right there.
But not only that, but he looked like he slipped when he initially went to go field the ball too.
4-2 ball game now. Here are the numbers in the Wallside Windows pitching change.
And Buck pitching in his 18th game this year out of the Tiger bullpen. 4 ERA and 23 strikeouts, 11 walks. Buck's got a fastball that goes anywhere from 92 to 95. He's got a really good changeup and a breaking ball.
Ben Gamel will pinch hit for Heredia. Gamel at 196. Swing and a miss. Buck's last appearance was in Texas on the 8th. Inning and a third, a scoreless baseball, 2 strikeouts for Farmer in that outing. 1-1, sails outside, 2-1 on Gamel.
And back-to-back changeups to Gamel thrown by Buck Farmer. Gamel's got to have the longest hair in the league, right?
Well, Clevenger's pretty close.
Is that right?
But I don't think more than this. It'll get back in the seats.
I mean, his hair is almost down to the number on his back. What do they call him? Flowing locks?
Oh, there you go.
Now that's some hair.
That guy's got him beat.
He might have some extensions in his, though.
No, he doesn't.
He might have a weave.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. 2-2 is rolled to first base. And Hicks will take the out there as the Mariners get another run in to make it 4-3.
Hey, man, you never know these days, partner. I'm telling you, you just never know, man.
Extensions. 2 gone now, 1-run ball game. That'll bring up D. Gordon.
Yeah, D will be up there trying to bunt this time, possibly. You see, Candelario really pinching him at the corner. He's about 3 or 4 feet in on the grass, but that's no problem for D. He'll still bunt.
Gordon sack fly knocked in the first Seattle run of the game.
D. Gordon originally drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 4th round by Deshaun Watson, who was scouting director at that time for Los Angeles. Deshaun and D's dad played together in the Kansas City organization. They were roommates, he and Flash. So he probably did his son a favor by drafting him.
Remember that curveball Flash Gordon had?
Oh my goodness.
Little chopper slowly right side, and Farmer will make the play. 2 runs in as we go to the 7th. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. How about a Ram Pick the Stick update? See what's going on here. Who's the big winner so far today?
Well, it looks like you've got 4 points. Jacoby Jones has gotten you 4.
Thank you, Jacoby.
And you picked last today.
I did.
You're going good right now.
And that was after Mickey York pilfered John Hicks from me. But there's still some game to go. Mikey Matuk will lead things off. Tigers trying to rebuild their lead. They're up 4-3. And Mikey swings on the first and hits it in the air, shallow right. 1 gone. Wallside Windows pitching change now for Eric Goodell.
And Goodell has a fastball that will top out at about 93 miles an hour. He throws that pitch about 48% of the time. When not doing that, about 14% with a curveball and lots of changeups. He will throw his changeup to lefties and righties, and he throws it 37% of the time. So Marco Gonzalez, who started the game, threw a lot of changeups, and now Goodell will feature a lot of changeups.
Gamble stays in the game to play left field. Goodell missing high to Candelario. Matt Boyd, good job again today. Was taken out in the 7th inning. Goes 6+2 batters. And he was charged with the 2 runs, so he'll give up 3 for the afternoon. Strike called, 1-1.
It's going to be up to Jimenez and Shane Green to hold this one down for the Tigers.
Goodell was selected in the 24th round back in 2010. There's Big Joe warming up. Went to college at UCLA and was on a really good staff there. Here's the 2-1. 2-2. It was that Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer staff. Goodell, also a big leaguer now. Finalist in the College World Series. 2-2. Candy swings and misses. He is out of there. 2 gone. Fans, join us tomorrow for a special Tigers-Mariners matchup. We pay tribute to the extraordinary mothers everywhere during our annual Mother's Day Pink Out the Park broadcast. All of our coverage begins with Tigers Live at noon, right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Ron Allen, I can't wait to see what you're going to wear tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be pink.
Is it?
You know it.
Yeah. How about Zemo? Zemo's going to dress
Yeah,
up.
it's going to be in pink. I'm going to have some pink on. How about you?
I'll have some pink on as well.
We'll be pinking out the park. How about your socks, though?
No, I don't. I still don't have pink socks.
No?
I don't know if I can pick some up tonight. It's going to be late by the time game 2's over. Here's a strike called on Nicholas. Single fly ball for Castellanos. Now the 0-1. Nick missed a game, the final game of the series against Texas, after getting hit on the knee with a pitch, and the day off Thursday, day off yesterday because of the rain, so he's good to go here today.
Yeah, well rested is Nicholas Castellanos today.
It's funny, man, through the entire month of April, the Tigers had no injuries at all. And then Miggy went on the DL, and Martine, and all these little nagging injuries as well.
Yeah, rough road trip.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Goodell strikes him out. Fans a pair and has a 1-2-3 7th. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Carrie Smith. And Carrie, from Grand Rapids, I'd like to know how you got these great tickets behind home plate.
My son, who's in the Army, we're a big Tigers family, and he got this for me for Mother's Day. He would like to be here, but he thought if he can't be here, he wants me to have a great day. So
I do believe, what's your son's name?
Alec.
I do believe Alec might be watching. He's stationed in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
What would you like to say to your son?
We would love to say how much we love him and we miss him.
We'll be with him soon. 2 weeks.
All right, guys. Ed and Carrie Smith from Grand Rapids. Alec, thanks for doing what you do. Army Rangers snipers stationed in Hawaii. So we love you, brother, and thanks for all you do for us.
Wow,
Mario?
what a great story. Thanks, Johnny. And thank you, Alec, for, as Johnny said, all you do for us. Boy, what a great throw for the folks.
No, no question
Man.
about that.
You see the emotion there from Mom and Dad.
Yeah, so, what do you want to say to them? They just teared up, man.
I know it.
That's special.
Joe Jimenez has come in for the Tigers here in the 8th inning in a 1-run game. He is facing Gene Segura.
Big test here for Joe Jimenez. Maybe the biggest test he's faced all year, going through the 2-3-4 of the Seattle Mariners. It's a really good team, a really good lineup, but Joe's a really good pitcher having a really good season.
You know, it was great to see Jimenez, who had given up a couple of runs on Tuesday, come right back on Wednesday in Texas and throw a scoreless inning with 3 strikeouts.
I love the way that Ron Gardenhire does that. It really doesn't matter who it is. It could be Alex Wilson, it could be Green, it could be Jimenez. He likes to get guys right back out there that very next day if they've had a rough outing the night before. You don't want it to linger too long.
Segura swings and misses. Down he goes.
96, piece of cheese there thrown by Jimenez right by Gene Segura. Griner wanted the ball down, but ball up, and Joe threw it down, threw it right by him.
It'll bring up Robinson Cano. Well, you're not kidding. This might be his biggest test. You're talking about Segura, Cano, and Cruz here in the 8th inning of a 1-run game. Seattle with only 3 hits in this game. Tigers have 10. Cano doubled, did not score back in the 4th, 1 for 3. Chopper right side of the infield, Machado. And Jimenez covers for the out, 2 gone.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Joe Jimenez. 97. He has touched in this inning, and he's gone as low as 87 with an off-speed pitch.
So here is Nelson Cruz with 2 outs. Cruz is 0 for 3, pop-up strikeout and a fly ball. Joe trying to get him through the 8th, and then Greeny in the 9th. It slides outside, 1-0. Tiger bullpen an ERA of 4.63 entering play. Right back up the middle. Machado has it, hit the bag, stays with it. Nice job for the out.
We've seen that way too much this year.
This time the bounce went the Tigers' way.
That's right.
1-2-3-8 for Joe Jimenez. As played by Dixon. doubleheader. Felix Hernandez and Michael Fulmer. That ought to be a good one.
Absolutely. Felix checks in with a 5.28. Michael a 3.51 earned run average. 38 strikeouts for King Felix. Michael's punched out 34. A couple of real good right-handers.
Game 2 approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of Game 1.
Michael Fulmer in his last outing against the Texas Rangers, man, looked about as good for 5 innings as he's looked to me in any of his starts. But whatever happened in that 6th inning, I'm sure that he'll be able to figure out here today.
And I'm sure he's anxious to do so. 0-1 to McCann, spins low, and the count now 1-1. Eric Adell came on in the 7th, got him 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. Swing and a miss. Mack tried to hold up, couldn't do it. He has walked, hit into a double play, and flying out in this game.
Yeah, that fly out to center was at the on the warning track in center field. He hit it pretty good.
Now the 1-2. 2-2 the count. Driven to left center field. That'll get down. Base hit. McCann with a leadoff single.
Well, just like we promised you, it's time for Miller Lite Hold True moment. Grayson Griner making his 3rd start since coming up from the minor leagues, and he got a base hit today off the starter Marco Gonzalez. That was his 2nd at-bat. That drove in his 1st run of his career. And then later in the contest, another base hit the opposite way to drive in another run. So real nice day today for Grayson Griner.
So McCann, who singled to extend his hitting streak to 9 games, gives way to the pinch runner. Victor Reyes. Here's a ball bunted down to the third base line. Hicks, he has a hit. Well, we've seen that before.
Hicks can handle the bat, and that is a beautiful bunt for a guy that does not bunt very often. And the whole key to bunting for a base hit, 1, the third baseman's playing in the parking lot, and 2, you're Hicks. You just stay in the batter's box and you make sure you get it where you want it, and then you run. Goodell had no play.
Now Jacoby Jones will stand in. Tigers have a chance to get some insurance runs here.
I don't think Jacoby will be up there bunting, but we'll see.
That is 12 Tigers hits in this game. Jones a single, a double, and a run scored. Swing and a miss. Infield looking for the ground ball up the middle. They're in a couple of steps. Tied at the corners on Jones. Ground ball to third. Seager tags the bag 1, goes to second 2. They will get a double play. 2 gone.
And nice job here by Seager, just grabbing the baseball, then going to second base to Robbie Cano to get the 2 outs. Keep a runner out of scoring position. Now, if you're Jacoby Jones, you have to steal second base on one of the first 2 pitches to get yourself down into scoring position.
Tigers now bounced into 3 double plays in this game. Here is Grayson Griner. Ball 1 high. Heck of a day for Grayson, the rookie, with a single to drive in a run in the 4th, a single to drive in a run in the 6th inning.
He's got a lot of power. He stands 6 feet 6 inches.
Did he go? Did not.
I believe John Keating said the other day that at 6'6", Griner is the tallest catcher to ever catch in the major leagues with someone else at 6 feet 6 inches. No catcher has been taller.
There have been others in Mauer and Wieters that have come close, but not 6'6". Here's the 2-0. 3-0 on Griner.
There's another really big catcher in Kansas City. Sal Perez is about 6'4", big body catcher.
So Griner now way ahead in the count. Iglesias waiting on deck. There is the closer, Shane Green, getting set. He'll come in the top of the 9th. Here's a strike call, 3-1. Runner goes. Popped him up. First base side for Healy in foul ground. That'll end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left as we go to the 9th. Here comes the closer, Shane Green.
Paul Sam update. Tigers clinging to a 1-run lead as we go to the 9th, and the offense has been led today by rookie Grayson Griner.
Well, this young man had a dream when he was a kid of playing at Comerica Park, guys. We're going to tell you all about his day and how he came up big for the Tigers in the postgame show.
And Matthew Boyd is currently in position for his 2nd win of the season. Coming up after the game on Tigers Live, he'll talk about what was working so well for him here this afternoon as well. And we'll get you ready for game 2 of the doubleheader as soon as this one goes final. Mario, Rob?
All right, Mick, thank you. And a Wallside Windows pitching change here is Shane Green now to pitch the 9th.
And Shane Green has 7 saves already this season. 4.11 ERA, 21 strikeouts, 5 walks, fastball, tailing, moving fastball, anywhere from 94 to 96. Shane also has a really good slider.
Mitch Haniger will lead things off here in the 9th inning. Haniger, Seager, and Healy. For Seattle, the Mariners have managed only 3 hits today. 12 for the Tigers. Yet it's only a 1-run game. 0 for 2 with a walk for Haniger. Ground ball left side. Iglesias to the grass. Quick throw is a 1-hopper in time.
It's a nice job there by Jose Iglesias, who got over in front of that ball, and instead of really setting his feet and getting his momentum carrying him back to where he wanted to throw it, he simply threw this ball flat-footed because he didn't want Haniger to beat it out. He simply grabs this ball and throws flat-footed and bounces it over to Hicks and bounces it over accurately.
Haniger, I was wondering what happened. He slipped leaving the box.
So Iggy had a whole lot of time.
Yeah, they got him by a wide margin. I'm thinking, is he not running? But he slipped. Here's Kyle Seager with 1 out.
1 pitch, 1 out. Not 2 pitches.
Ball 1 to Seager. It was his hit by pitch that got it started in the 7th when Seattle scored twice.
And Shane Green, pretty much all hard stuff. Fastball, 94, cutter, 87, 90, and a slider. When he was a starter, he used his changeup a little bit more, but I don't think he uses that changeup now that he's been closing games for the Tigers for the last several months, going into last season.
2-0 on Seager.
It's a dangerous count here if you decide to throw and Kyle Seager a fastball. He's a good fastball hitter.
And he has good power, 6 home runs this year.
He just had a 2-homer game a couple of days ago.
Outside, 3-0. Green takes over for Jimenez, who had a 1-2-3/8. Tiger bullpen doing the job today. Farmer came on to get 3 outs in the 7th. And there's a strike. Seager thought he had a walk. Swing and a miss, down 3-2.
Good slider there. And thrown by Shane Green at 87 miles an hour. Seager dialed in for the fastball, and Shane Green threw him a slider up there. Might as well go right back to that same pitch here. They're going to go fastball, looks like.
Fouled away.
At 96.
Yeah.
Location was good. Although you might want it up in the strike zone to a guy like Seager. Most left-handed batters love the ball down in the strike zone.
And he walked in, ball 4, so the tying run is on with 1 out. Don't forget, Tigers Live postgame will take you up to Game 2, which is approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of Game 1. Hopefully with no drama here in the 9th. Ryan Healy, a double, a walk, 2 runs scored. Ground ball toward third, foul. 0-1 on Healy. Tigers trying to win Game 1 in the season series after losing 6 of 7 to Seattle last year. In fact, the Mariners won the last 6 in a row in the season series last year. Nick Vincent is tuning up in their bullpen. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Oh, 0-2. Even though Green is facing the bottom of the Seattle lineup, there is thump really up and down 1 through 9.
Yeah, Seager, Healy, and Zunino. Excuse me. All have power.
Line to center field. It is sinking and caught on a dive by Jones.
Game-saving catch right there.
Jacoby sprawling in center field, hauls it in.
That's a game-saving catch.
2 gone.
He's fearless on the base pass. He has a lot of fun. He has a lot of fun in the outfield as well. He gets a great jump on this ball and comes in and grabs it before it hits the carpet. Great concentration, getting the glove underneath that ball to make sure it stayed in the glove.
Two away and one more out to get here for the Tigers to get a win in game 1. Here's Mike Zunino. Ground ball knocked in a run in his last at bat. They're guarding the line at third against Zunino. And he went around, strike 1. It'll pop up, back a second. There goes Machado. Can't get it. Seager's on his way to third. They're going to stop in there. It's a bloop single for Zunino, and Seattle's still alive. Only the 4th hit of the game for the Mariners.
And great effort here by Dixon. It just couldn't make the play. And Jacoby gets over and picks the ball up and gets it in a hurry, and to make sure that runner doesn't score. And now if you're a Griner and you call for a slider here from Shane Green, then you know you have to get down to block it.
Andrew Romine pinch running at first base for Zunino. There's the tying run, Seager at third. Here is Ben Gamble now. His second at bat of the game, pinch hit in the 7th, drove in a run. It slides low, 1 ball, no strikes. A walk and a bloop single here in the 9th inning, giving Seattle a chance. High, ball 2 on Gamble. You got D. Gordon, top of the order, waiting on deck.
You don't have to give in here to Gamble. He's got a little pop in his bat.
Brief little confab on the mound, so Scott Berry writes that down. Mound visits really have not been an issue at all.
Not at all.
They set the minimum, or maximum I should say, at 6 for each game.
I can't remember any game where the Tigers have used up all their mound visits. Can you?
No. Or where it has become a possible issue. 2-0, swung on it, missed it. 96 right at the letters.
Shane Green reached back to get a little extra here, up in the strike zone, right at the belt buckle. Gamble right, a little tardy on it.
Strike call, 2-2 on Gamble. Back-to-back mid-90s fastballs. Now he's got it dialed into 1 strike.
You might as well stay with the same fastball. Just make sure you get it up in the strike zone. You don't want it down. You want Gamble to have to climb the ladder with his hands to catch up to it if you throw a fastball.
Fouled away, came back with a breaking ball. Gamble got a piece of it. This will be the 20th pitch for Shane Green. 4-3, Tigers lead. We're in the 9th. 2 on and 2 outs. Ball 3 outside, full count. This will give Romine a chance to get on the move here with 2 away.
Kobe Jones in center field playing awfully shallow.
Three-two. Fouled away. Should Gamble reach? There's your on deck guy, D. Gordon. Gamble now has worked an 8-pitch at bat here. This will be number 8.
Pretty much every fastball that Shane Green has thrown to Gamble has been away from him on the outside. The breaking balls have been inside.
And he walked him to load the bases. 2 walks in the inning for Green. Pretty good at bat there by Gamble. Now you've got D. Gordon coming up. You got the go-ahead run at second. And here comes Chris Bosio as well. So another mound visit for the Tigers.
This is what D. Gordon does. He puts so much pressure on you from a defensive standpoint. And the infielders have to rush to make sure they get the ball across the diamond. And because he has that great speed, you always have to think about the bunt as well, because he will bunt with 2 outs. And on top of that, the Cat's getting 200 hits a year.
Yeah. Well, he came in batting .340. 5th best average in the American League. Now Boz will be chased out of there. So they're loaded up with Mariners now. 2 outs.
Chris Bosio once pitched for the Seattle Mariners. As a matter of fact, he threw a no-hitter for Seattle.
Well, he's hoping Green right now can get the final out of this game. Seager, Romine, Gamble, your base runners. In tied at third base on the grass is Candelario. There's a breaking ball strike, 0-1.
That's another advantage you have if you're a guy like D. The third baseman has to play in closer because you have that speed and the ability to bunt. And a lot of times, left-handers will simply just try to slap the ball right past the third baseman.
Fouled away. Now it's 0-2. Again, Green has it down to 1 strike. He has Gordon on the defensive here. 0-2. Bouncing ball to first. Hicks has it, and that is a Tigers win. Stay tuned. Tigers Live postgame for the Coliseum Studios coming up next.